From the bottom, friends, from the bottom of the heart, I heartily welcome one and all. Good morning, everybody. Today, in this lectures, we are going to discuss, learn, and study the poem entitled "The World Is Too Much with Us" by William Wordsworth. Before going to talk about the poems, discuss the title "The World Is Too Much with Us," I briefly introduce about the writers. The William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth, 1770 to 1850, born in the Lake District, was the son of an attorney. He was educated first at Fenridge and then at Hawkshead Grammar School. Wordsworth describes the different periods of his life vividly in his work, The Flute. In 1795, after receiving a legacy, Wordsworth lived with his sister Dorothy, first in Dorset and then at Elphinstone. When we talk his Wordsworth and Coleridge published a collection of poems called the Lyrical Ballads, 1798. Both Wordsworth and Coleridge. Lyrical Ballads, 1798, which completely changed the poetic practices in the time. The poem in the collections were markedly different from those of Wordsworth's predecessors and essentially marked the beginning of the genre of romantic poetry. Idealism, escapism, a return to God and to nature were some of the themes that characterize this kind of poetry. And this publication was followed by poems in two volumes in 1807, which included the poems Resolutions and Independence and Intimations of Immortality from Recollections of Early Childhood. It's a well-known poem, British poet, and is also called the nature poet. When we think about the English literatures, especially the British literatures, the era is one of the era, a Romanticism era, 1798 to 80. This is called Romantic era. And Romantic era means, in that era, the poems William Wordsworth, S.T. Coleridge, Shelley, P.B. Shelley, John Keats, these poems comes under that era. Means those poets has written about the natures. That's called a romantic poet, romantic moment. The present poem, "The World Is Too Much with Us," means when we think about the world is not short. World is not only our duties place and our parents, our homes and our village, our city and country. This is not the world. World is too much with us. So writer has talked about in details. Today, Wordsworth's poetry is widely rich. His poetry universal appeal is perhaps best explained by Wordsworth's own words on the role for him of poetry. Because he gives importance to the poet, what he called the most philosophical of all writings, whose object is truth, carried alive into the hearts by passion. So poetry is a reflection of thoughts and images and emotions and images, which is tranquilized in hearts. That is called the poets. Means poetry language is the main language, and which carried alive into the hearts by passions. And "The World Is Too Much with Us" is one of his most popular sonnets. When we talk about the sonnet is 14 lines. Is 14 lines poem is called the sonnet. Shakespearean sonnet, Petrarchan sonnet, Spenserian, all these are the difference. And it is a meditative and lays stress on going back to nature, going back to happiness, going back to the spirit, going back to the originalness. It's called the natures. When we think about the nature, what does the nature signifies? The nature's word signifies it's the pure, original, spirits, enhance, power, energy, truthness. All these are the characteristics of the natures. Here the poet laments the evils of materialisms, which have made man insensitive toward the beauty of nature. The poet laments, talks, writes the evils of materialism. Materialism, pulse, hypocrisy, jealousy, ego, all these are the characteristics of materialism. Lie, and which have made man insensitive toward the beauty of nature. The poet expresses a distaste for contemporary civilization and praises nature worships. Yes. Now that therefore I think nowadays and at least 1 hour, one times in week or one times in month we go or we visit the hillside and natures and get the beauty of the natures and regain the powers and energies which we lost in day-to-day lives, day-to-day works. So it is very, very important poems. The friends, particularly I was feeling deeply hurt and felt great pain that in spite of the fact that the world had been expressing mind-boggling scientific and industrial developments like artificial intelligence. Online, this is an example of online teaching. Internet, IT, journey to the outer space and enjoying possibility the most. Luxurious and materialistic pleasures and various other sources of enjoyment available around us. On the other hand, there was no much of anger, hatred, jealousy, envy, violence, misery, sorrow, and suffering all over the world. These are the features of materialisms. And the poet wanted to escape from that, and he wanted to worship the natures and wanted to praise the natures because nature is the true, nature is the great. I read the lines and try to explain it line by line. The world is too much with us, late and soon. Getting and spending will lay waste our powers. The world is too much with us, late and soon means after the in our lives before our birth, after our death, the world is too much, late and soon. Getting and spending will waste our powers. And what does we do? We waste our powers, we waste our times, we waste our energy, getting and spending. We get from the natures, we get from and waste our times from after that mundane and the worldly pleasures. Where the senses is not in our control. We are after the senses. We obey the command of senses and run after the materialism. So we waste our powers, spiritual powers. Little we see in nature that is ours, and we see the littles and try to things and try to consume that it is ours, this is my own. We have given our hearts away a sordid boon. Sordid, dirty, unpleasant and mean. We have given our hearts away a sordid boon. And sordid boon, a gift that becomes a curse. Because in the materialisms, in the present era, in 21st century, the human beings is going to lose their powers, spiritual powers. Little we see in nature that is ours, and we have given our hearts away, a sordid boon that has become the curse for us. Things nowadays, each and every material things, this is not the beneficial for our bodies, health, mind, as well as the psychology. It is not beneficial. It is become the curse for us. We have given our hearts away a sordid boon. This sea that bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hours. And see, when we think about the nature, this sea that bears the bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all, and all hours whiling is nature is providing the free and the howling at all hours, here and there, and are gathered now like sleeping flowers. Yes, sleeping flowers. The winds that will be howling at our hours and are up gathered now like sleeping flowers. Oh man, what? That's howlings. Yes, howling winds is good, but it's become like a sleeping flowers. But we are because we are losing our powers and have gathered now like a sleeping flowers. Means sleeping flowers active lies. For these, for everything, we are out of tune. And all that because for we are after the materialisms, we are after the expectations, we become the slave of expectations, we become the slave of desires, we become the slave of our ambitions. So the from at morning to the nights we are after the mundane pleasures, materialism, after the senses. So we are not able to get the pure that years and all that. In sitting by sitting we are west under the rooms, under the office, no, under the AC rooms. So these winds that will be howling at hours and are up gathered now like sleeping flowers. For these, for everything, we are out of tune. That's why we are out of tune. So means we are not able to get that freshness and this pureness. It moves us not. Great God, I would rather be a pagan suckled in a crete outworn. A nurture and nourish, I will be suckled. And for this, for everything, and for this, the evils of materialism, everything, we are out of tune. It moves us not. Great God, I would rather be a pagan. Pagans means, the meaning is here, a person who believes in paganism, a religion in ancient Greece which worshipped nature as a god. This practice is known as pantheism. Pantheism. Pan, nature, and Thine, Thei, Thine, God, means who see the God in nature. A pagan suckled in a crete outworn. It moves us not. Great God, I would rather be a pagan suckled in a crete outworn. So I might standing on this pleasantly. So might I standing on this pleasantly. Pleasant, happy, fresh, energizable, having glimpses that would make me less forlorn. And when I go to the natures, and if I creed, and if I out of date and longer Lee means meadow. When I uh, so might I standing on this pleasantly when I stand on the meadow, in the farms, having glimpses that would make me less forlorn. Having glimpses that would make me less foreigner. And that glimpses, that sight, make me less forlorn. Forlorn means lonely and unhappy. Less because that therefore the way visit and we go to the picnics in the night just because we get the freshness and all that happiness and the positive energy from the nature. So it becomes the less me forlorn. Have a sight of Proteus from the sea. Have a sight of Proteus. The meaning of the Proteus here, the meaning of Proteus. In Greek mythology, Proteus was the god of the sea who could take any shape we wanted. Have a sight of Proteus rising from the sea. So I get have a sight of Proteus from the sea. Oh, here, old Titan, blow this red lawn. Oh, here, old Titan, blow his wreath horns. Here the poet wants to say that when I go in the natures, when I stand in the meadow, and when I visited the sea, I found that the god of that seas, he gives the different types of the shapes and make me the happy. Have sight of Proteus rising from the sea because I see the whales and the big all that waters and the whales and that all the sights. Or here old Triton blow his wreath horn. Triton's a minor sea god in Greek mythology. He could soothe the waters of the sea by bowling on his conch sail. And means all that beautiful and inspirational pictures and all that things we are able to see only in the natures. Therefore, the poet highlighted and give the preference and praises the natures, nature verse, and that is the truth. Okay, anyway, uh, friends, as already I told in another YouTube channels and teaching of another poems that this one questions goes for 7 marks, and you have to mean students have to write at least in 100 and 150 words each and every question's answers. I composed three questions very important for the university exam. First, what is the main theme of the poems? Nature verse, which already we discussed. Second, write a note on Wordsworth's attitude towards nature. Third one, comment on the title of the poems. I repeat the questions. What is the main theme of the poem? First, second, write a note on Wordsworth's attitude towards nature. Third one, comment on the title of the poems. These are the important questions. Lastly, friends, if you like my YouTube channels, if you like my discussions, if you like my explanations, so thanks for watching. And I tried to read line by lines and explain it in a simple and in a clear and obvious manner. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. If you like, subscribe it, share it, and comment it. Thank you very much. Thank you.